Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling is Her. I'm your host Raja and I am joined by my Stardom Dream co-host John.
Hello.
And we're here not like 48 hours later after our last episode to review Dream Queendom.
Do you try to add like the 12 hours it's going to take us to put this out onto the...
No, I don't math that hard.
I didn't know how that worked.
It's been a few days since we sat down.
It's been 12
to preview Dream Queendom.
Yeah, but it's been 12 hours since Dream Queendom. Roughly.
It has.
So.
Because you got to sleep after like 10 hours of pay-per-view in the same day.
Classic pay-per-view though.
My God, like half a day of pay-per-view
So
between
good.
Worlds End and Dream Queendom.
So amazing.
And can we just mention Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander real quick?
Because
from World's End.
it went 26 minutes?
24 minutes, I think.
24 minutes.
The longest women's match in AEW. And boy, howdy, was it a match.
Yes.
Those two work so well together.
They do.
I just loved every
They do. It's a
moment
great
of it.
story, man. It was it had everything in it. And I'll never forget Mercedes looking at, Chris like halfway through and just like, why would you die?
Chris Statlander has all the heart, and Mercedes Moné has all that intelligence that she puts to use, and it just works perfectly together.
I like it. I hope there's a cause for a third one at some point, but the only way I can see that is if Chris wins it another way. Like,
Yeah.
Mercedes is going to have to lose it, and it's going to have to go to Chris a different way and be Mercedes the challenger, because
There's no way Chris gets another shot at this point.
no, she's been defeated soundly
Yes.
twice.
She has.
Yeah.
So you gotta work your way back up at that point.
But man, I love it. I'm with you. I
was
love
good fun.
having really great women's wrestling
I know.
just in the mainstream.
Me too.
And I love the fact that they had to win the crowd. It was like,
Oh yeah, they dragged them in
yeah.
by their heels. They were like, "Get in here!"
kicking and screaming, buddy. Now the other women's match on the pay-per-view, since you mentioned one, I'll mention one.
Tijuana Street Fight
With Mariah May and Miss Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa. It was not as good. Now listen, it was good.
Yes,
But I didn't like the psychology, and you pointed it out all through the match.
it was laborious to watch.
You said laborious.
That's how I felt.
Hold on a second. I'm moving our little. You get one of the beads over your way.
Thank you.
What do they call that? Like in a pool hall? I can't even think. The counters,
This is like a scorecard, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, score one for Raja and
Yay.
her vocabulary. But yes, laborious, and The issue is who's the heel, right? That's the game
Right.
we're playing. Who is the heel?
Can you guess
And
by the match psychology?
If it was like something, I used to watch this thing when I was a kid, and it was already old when I watched it, but it was like, you make the call. And it was the NFL, films guy. It was like, the Green Bay Packers were on third down and long when Bart Starr took,
right.
was this a penalty or was it a clean play? You make the call. And when I was sitting there watching that last night, I was fantasizing that I was watching something else, and I was fantasizing about the fact of in the future somebody going, Mariah May was putting, the title up against Thunder Rosa, and and it goes through it, and was Mariah May a babyface, or was she a heel? Based on who's taking the heat.
Right.
You make the call.
It was strange to have Thunder Rosa on top like the entire match, essentially.
99%?
Yeah, and then for Mariah to just pull out a quick victory at the very end, like literally getting choked with a chain, then put Thunder Rosa through a table and win. That's how fast it happened.
Yeah. It was
weird.
It was weird. The only heel things really for Mariah was picking on Thunder Rosa's father.
Yes, which she did. She took his cane and his hat.
So that was very heelish. And if you know the whole story, then you can get the heel stuff, kinda.
Yeah, but just watching that match, you'd be like, who am I supposed to be cheering for?
I mean, I don't know. And listen, it was not a bad match.
No.
It was just the psychology was scrumdiddly fucked up.
It wasn't. It wasn't a Willow Nightingale hardcore match in AEW, but it was serviceable.
It was serviceable.
And we also got to see Toni Storm make her 0 Hour debut.
Yes,
The up and coming rookie herself.
We did. I like the fact that the fans ran with this.
Yeah, she's a rookie chance and all that.
You know, they ran with this. It's fun. Now it won't be fun if it goes long.
Too long? Yeah. Somebody's got to knock some sense into her.
It's dangerously close to being too long for me.
I feel like it might be heading to the Australian show. Like we might have to put up with it for another month to get to that point. But I don't know for sure.
I mean, she's totally going to come all the way back.
Yeah, she's got to get her memory back and stop being a lunatic at some point.
So why would the girls want her to get her memory back? She was very dominant.
Yeah, they don't. Obviously, Deonna Purrazzo's playing along with it. She's like, hey, let's have our very first match.
So what's going to happen when Toni sees her foot and goes, that's really weird.
Yeah, we have matching tattoos.
We have
That's crazy.
What's the odds of having the tattoo at the same spot in the same place? What?
And mine has a sword through it. I don't.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
It's so weird.
Like she's obviously not gone back and watched any film from AEW, or she would have seen herself.
She's probably like enjoying being single and
she doesn't remember Juice.
Juice is like at the house going.
He's his broken leg.
Going.
Rock on! She'll be home any day. Any day, any day, any day.
I love that crazy girl.
Gonna come see the juicer. I'm gonna juice myself.
Yeah. So.
I love Toni Storm and her character work, but I'm very much looking forward to the point where she's just Toni Storm again.
I think Jamie could knock sense into her.
Jamie could. Jamie will, I'm sure. She hasn't gotten her revenge on Toni Storm yet.
She said that. Now,
for all that.
I believe that Jamie and Toni would be a great match.
Yeah.
In
Australia. Yes, they would. I agree. But Jamie's got to put up with Julia Hart first, who has returned. Oh, so excited.
See, that's another one that I've got a problem with because okay, people love Jamie, right?
Yes.
Jamie Hayter, for those of you playing at home. And, I mean, just adore her. We're sitting here right now looking at two different toys we have.
Yes.
Of her.
Yes.
Okay?
She's fabulous.
So, we love Jamie. And we also love...
Julia
Hart, right?
People love Julia Hart.
And it didn't do us any favors, the fact that her videos coming back are just grandiose.
Yeah, her entire return has been crazy and she hasn't even had a match yet.
Yeah, just incredibly done, incredibly well done. And, you know, we can't wait. She was one of those people that shouldn't have been and was.
Yeah.
And that's always great. When it's homegrown and it's just, you know, she goes from being a cheerleader on a C-level team to standing way out above them.
Yeah, that moment of getting misted in the face and that scream she let out, that changed the trajectory of her entire career.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's been amazing since then.
You're right, it did. And, I mean, House of Black are baby faces too.
They are. I don't think they're supposed to be, but people love them.
Yeah,
because they're awesome.
Yeah, but no matter what's the booking, I mean, who do you cheer and who you boo is heel and baby.
It is.
So
the crowd decides.
You can make someone can be a heel regardless of how much they like them. Like I've had that happen myself. And if we have any friends of mine listening right now, they're sitting there going, yeah, mother. Yeah. How many autographs did you sign? You know, like, it's because I had to learn that because we were very dominant. Like we had this period where with my little group in my little indie, you know, we had a very big dominant thing on TV where every week we just beat the shit out of people. And then I could talk really well and come out there. And when you're doing quick, like 1 minute cut down promos and then you're beating the piss out of everybody, people cheer you.
They're like, these guys are great.
Yeah, all this guy does is run. They're like, yeah, we are fat and inbred. You're right. You're so funny. And, you know, it's one of those things that they cheer you at that point. And it's up to you to be the bigger heel. Right. You have to.
You have to go to new depths.
You have to be better than I was originally because I just adored it because as a baby face, I sucked, right?
Right.
I went by and clapped everybody's hands, but this sounds terrible to say, but I didn't want to touch their fucking hands. And so going
Like,
around,
ooh, don't touch me.
I think it comes across when you're an insincere baby face.
Yeah, when you actually don't like people.
Yeah, when you really don't, when you're more of an introvert.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, and you go around. So when I became heel, that was perfect because I had this persona around me to protect me, right? I'm in there still.
But you still got the adoration.
Yeah, and I got to go out there. I was like, oh, and I got to say all this terrible stuff really well. Mm-hmm. And they cheered the hell out of us. They cheered us to death, So when I did it later on, I didn't need that anymore. And I learned, and I seen other people make those mistakes. And I was just kind of like, I didn't do things to be redeeming person.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying about that is some people could do a little bit better heel work.
To be fair, I don't think the House of Black ever set out to be heels. I think they're just a tweener faction that just does what benefits them.
Yeah.
And they're not out to like hurt anyone necessarily or do anything wrong. They just are, it's their own thing that they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, they really are a tweener. And there is a lot of tweeners these days.
It doesn't help Brody King's recent like friendship with Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And Darby's one of the most popular people to ever step foot in a ring. So
yeah, that's true. Okay, so Dream Queendom.
So Dream Queendom, yes, that was World's End. Some great women's action from World's End, which was a lot of fun. But the main event for us of this weekend and heading into Wrestle Kingdom week, which is kind of an extension of this weekend, even if we get a few days off, was Dream Queendom 2024.
My God.
At Ryogoku Sumo Hall.
Oh, sold out.
4,000 plus people in the crowd. I think I saw it was Stardom's second biggest crowd ever in history. So that is amazing. The crowd was on fire the entire show.
Yeah.
They were into it, buddy. It's hard to blame them because Stardom has built to this show beautifully over the year.
They have. It was interesting because we had a little bit of trouble with streaming it.
Yeah.
And,
it happens.
Oddly enough, I seen that the show was actually on free YouTube through the end of the first Wangori match.
Oh, through the first main card match.
So it made me wonder if there was a known problem.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Those streaming live shows is hit or miss a lot of the time.
But we figured it out and we just hardwired it in. But, still yet, what a show, man. I mean.
Oh my goodness. Going in, we knew it was going to be a crazy show.
What a rarity to have bookends like we had on this one.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it obviously, but to have an opener like we had of the main show and then have the last two matches.
Oh my goodness.
The last two matches I would probably put up against any two matches.
Yeah. They know what they're doing with their Wonder and World of Stardom title matches every single time.
And that first match.
Oh my goodness.
Again, I would put that up against anything, like any tag match out there.
Yeah.
And some other ones, they were there. They were not bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you have your filler matches, just like on any pay-per-view, but Stardom knows how to fit everyone in there on the show. They don't, nobody misses a pay-per-view in Stardom.
What was smart was they have another big show on the 3rd.
Yes.
In a week.
A huge show.
Right?
Yeah.
In a week. And another pay-per-view, bro. So they had to go in there and build.
Yeah.
And so what the beautiful thing was, they have these incredible matches that are finales, so to speak, blow-offs, if you will. And then they had ones that were the multi-mans that were the preview matches.
Yeah, it was like a little mix of everything.
So you're still building. And I think a lot of people could take cues from this because it wasn't like, hey, we're spewing it all right now and then we're going to spew it all again next week.
Yeah, you don't have to do full-on single matches for every single match. You can have some matches that are building to a future show. Like New Year Dream.
And it didn't feel as long as what it was.
No, it didn't. It actually went by very fast.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy for a 5-hour show.
Yeah, because it did not feel that way, did it?
No, it didn't. But, I mean, why don't we just get into it?
Yeah,
because there's so much to talk about from this show. Starting in the pre-show, we actually had 2 pre-show matches for this pay-per-view, beginning with a tag team match where Matoi Hamabe and Chi-Chi took on Yuna Mizumori and Aya Sakura. And this is a prelude match to their January 3rd Sendai Girl Junior Championship match between Chi-Chi and Aya Sakura, which will happen at New Year Dream. So we have talked about how Aya Sakura and Chi-Chi do not like each other. And this was just another chance for them to show that. just want to kick each other in the face. And that's practically all they did in this match.
And to hear more of our Chi-Chi love, go to our previous episode.
Yes, we always talk about how much we love Chi-Chi.
You'll find it. And, I can't wait for Chi-Chi and Aya Sakura. This match.
Yes, one-on-one.
I just think being under, I don't know, it's going to be amazing.
I think they've really done an excellent job of building it up. And to have Matoi in this match, it was really nice to see her on the pay-per-view, and she already has shown a lot of growth from her debut.
Oh, yeah. Her striking is much better.
Yeah, somebody's talked to her about that, I guess.
She is amazing on the mat.
Yes.
She does a fantastic job. I think Yuna being there is a rock.
Yeah, she and Aya have definitely formed a sort of cohesive team over the past couple months.
Yuna keeps the other inexperience, at bay.
Yes, and as we imagined, as we said would happen, Matoi did take the pin in this match from Yuna Mizumori, who jumped off the corner pad into a body splash to get the pin. It was very funny, but very Yuna at the
Great
same
stuff.
time. So Yuna and Aya won this match ahead of that junior championship match, and we'll just have to see if Aya Sakura is up to the challenge of taking that belt away from Chi-Chi. I don't know. It's a pink belt and it fits Chi-Chi perfectly, so I don't know if she's going to be letting it go anytime soon.
Aya's not going to win.
No one's going to beat Chi-Chi.
Well, not this time, not this early.
The second pre-show match was one I was very excited about. It's a singles match between Rana Yagami and Sayaka Kurara.
I love this match.
These two are a year into their career. They both debuted around Christmas last year. Mm-hmm. So they're 1 year in, and they put together an excellent singles match against each other in a way that you would expect from very experienced wrestlers.
It was unbelievable. For a 1 year, 2 years combined knowledge to put this match and be it on a pre-show.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, Raja.
It was like the first 5 minutes was all wrestling on the mat, just grappling back and forth, transitions all over the place, chain wrestling. Then you've got Sayaka trying to hit that spear the whole time, Rana countering it, Rana Yagami's kicks coming out of nowhere. It was just, they did such a good job. I was so proud of them.
They did. It was fantastic.
It was. And unfortunately, we didn't get a winner in this match. It went the full time limit to a draw. And I don't think there's any way that this is over by a long shot. I think we're going to be seeing these two wrestle each other far, far into the future many, many times. And it just gives vibes of like old school wrestlers. Like, you've got Sayaka on the one side who gives a very Manami Toyota sort of vibe, and then you've got Rana Yagami on the other side who comes from a breed that's more Shinobu Kandori, and it's just a tale as old as time in Joshi. I think you've got the Queens or the Cosmic Angels type wrestler versus the God's Eye type wrestler, and it just feels natural.
I agree.
Totally. I can't wait to see more of them because obviously it's not over. This was a draw. They're going to wrestle again.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much good about this match. You've covered it beautifully. I mean, the wrestling, the storytelling that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
But does. And you see Kurara really, she's come on the lately, right? And,
yes.
And it's been this very slow burn with her. But I like that. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that recently with some other federations that try to throw their first day rookies in there for main event programs.
Right.
Stardom really doesn't do that. They
make you work for it.
You're gonna eat your porridge.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat it up, and you're going to learn how to love it.
Yes.
And then you're going to, because you're going to get your headlock takeovers, you're going to get your body slams, you're going to get your Boston Crabs down pat.
Absolutely.
Before you start doing your high spots.
I mean, once you eat all that porridge and you learn to like it, it turns into muscle and makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
A better wrestler.
It does, man. It does. And this match was just living proof of that.
It was.
They can handle themselves, and you've got two main eventers in the future that is going to draw nothing but money. Kurara is already stolen the hearts of the fandom.
She's so popular.
Yeah.
When she's in the ring, everyone wants to chant for Kurara.
She has the girl next door thing going for her.
She does.
And I think people love Rana. just as much, but they don't worry about Rana.
No, it's like Rana can handle herself in the ring.
Carrara is like built-in babyface.
Yeah.
Because she has a baby face.
She does.
It's the simplest term you can use with it.
And one of my favorite things that she does is that just complete dead, like, drop to the mat.
Yeah.
And that was how this match ended. At the moment the bell rung, Rana hit her with a huge kick to the face, and she just fell beautifully to the mat, and it was over. That was the time limit, and it was just such a great way to end the match, I think.
Oh.
And I'm so here for more. I want more now.
I do too. I want it right this second.
Give us more of these two against each other.
I'm hoping to give it to us very soon. I hope that, they see some of the reviews and they're like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has to happen.
That brings us to the main card, and we kicked off the main card in kind of a crazy way. We went straight into a title match on the first match of the card.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that.
Me
honestly,
either.
It wasn't just a title match.
No,
was it?
It was not just a title match. It was the Goddess of Stardom championship match between Tekla and Momo Watanabe and Wingori, Hanan, and Saya Iida, who won Goddess of Stardom Tag League for this opportunity.
And we may have been a little excited about
We
this.
may have been a little bit excited about it.
Let's get into it. I want to hear about it again.
Well, Wingori has had a hell of a year leading up to this, as we've talked about with the Cinderella win for Hanan, Saya Iida winning everyone's hearts in the 5-star Grand Prix, and then, of course, going through Tag League and getting to the very top of Tag League, even with a win over the champions in Tag League to get to this point. And Tekla and Momo Watanabe have, of course, been running roughshod over Stardom, and Tekla particularly has been a menace
Yes.
to the staff and all the other wrestlers. Okada was like vacant for this match. He was like, he did not want to sit near Tekla anywhere.
Yeah, no,
he was like, I know she's going to do something and I'm not going to be here for it.
No, he did not want any part of this just because he don't want to be biased.
Yeah.
Is what they were saying. And I love that because they've had
It's
nothing
smart.
but fights.
Yeah, she's been terrible to everyone. But this match, it was very well paced. They got everything that they needed to get in, but I want to talk particularly about the finishing sequence of this match, because comes a point in the match where the ref takes a bump. The ref is out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Hanan accidentally drop kicks him in the corner when she's aiming for Tekla. So the moment the ref goes out, we start seeing Hate trying to use their weapons, the bat of Momo Watanabe in particular. She misses Hanan and hits Tekla with it.
Not the first time.
Tekla goes for a spear on Hanan, but Saya Iida pushes Hanan out of the way and takes the spear for her. And then there are 2 visual pins from Hanan using 17 on Tekla that are just clear wins of this match that would have been Wingori if the ref had not been knocked out.
And what happens normally on one of those?
Normally, if you have a visual pin, it's like, oh, that team's going to lose.
Yeah.
There's no, we saw that they won the match. That means that the other team is going to sneakily get the win.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's going to cause another match because they were cheated and all this stuff. And this one, we not only, like you said, not only did we get one, but when we got the second one.
Oh, and Hanan's just crying and like screaming. She's like, cover! And there's no one there to count it.
I mean, the air was out of our lungs.
I know. Hate is so smug. But the unthinkable happened, because Saya Iida was able to use her muscle buster-esque move on Tekla, and then Hanan hit her with the most beautiful backdrop suplex that I think I've ever seen Hanan give.
Yeah.
And Barb Sasaki was right there. 1, 2, 3. Wingori are the new Goddess of Stardom champions.
Totally insane. Congratulations,
I was
Hanan
screaming.
and Saya Iida. My God, congratulations. 'cause
They were crying,
Yeah.
hugging, and I don't blame them, because they've been on such a journey
I
to
couldn't
get to
even
this
tell because
point.
we were crying and hugging.
Yeah, we
So-
were so happy.
So it was.
We thought for sure after those visual pins that it was over. Like,
Oh, man.
Hate's keeping the belts.
we were so fired up.
Oh man, Wingori has earned this.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope they go on a run to rival any Goddess of Stardom run
This
in
is
the
a
past.
big deal, man. I mean, they've broke through the ceiling.
They have. They finally made it.
They've got big boy belts now.
It's like their first major Stardom
Yeah.
belts, Wingori, and they're such a good tag team. They work so well together. I'm just totally looking forward to all of their tag team
Oh,
defenses
me too.
coming out of this. It was a really great way to open the show, an emotional high point
Flawless match.
for anyone who has been on this journey with them.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
And that brought us into a few announcements. They brought up March, which is when the Cinderella tournament always takes place. So they announced a few dates for the Cinderella tournament. And then they announced that on April 27th, All-Star Grand Queendom will be taking place in Yokohama Arena.
Which was the side of their biggest show ever.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're aiming big.
It's huge, and so I think their rival, they're going to go in there and just be like, all right, we're selling this thing out.
Yeah, I don't think they have any questions in their mind that they could sell it out. And the run that they've had recently, I believe in them totally.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just did over 4,000.
Yeah.
For this one, absolutely. They're going to be building to this thing the entire time.
They're definitely they're like kicking off a new era of Stardom going into 2025, and it's really cool to see.
A lot of new era talk lately.
A lot of new eras going on around the world. After that, we saw the three-way Quattro battle, which was Hate, Fukigen Death, Azusa Inaba, Rina, and Ruaka versus God's Eye, Lady C, Hina, Tomoka Inaba, and Saki Kashima versus EXV, Rion, Hanako, Wakasukiyama, and Mina Shirakawa. And this was your typical Stardom multi-man, a lot going on all at once. There was like no stop. There was a really nice focus in this match on the sister versus sister dynamics. So we got Tomoka versus Azusa for a little bit, and then we got Rina versus Hina for a moment there. So that's always fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm always excited to see them.
And I
go
think the
against each
people were
other.
too.
Yeah, they seemed really pumped about seeing the Inabas and then seeing Rina and Hina because it's just fun when you got sisters.
It is.
Just pit them against each other.
Especially at the level that they're at now.
Yeah. And there was a big focus on, at least commentary-wise, on Mina's upcoming match against Mercedes Moné at Wrestle Dynasty. So it's no surprise that Mina Shirakawa got the pin in this match for EXV over Fukigen Death by using the glamorous driver Mina. So good for her.
We should
back
have
in
probably
Japan.
thought about that part.
Yeah. When we picked winners.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh, you know what?
It makes so much sense.
Mina's been on this run. She's got a huge match coming up.
Huge match.
She
Double
can't-
title match.
She cannot eat a pin right now.
Yeah. Well, she didn't need to eat the pin. There's
But
so many
she
people
couldn't
in
eat
this
a loss
match.
right now.
Yeah, but it makes sense that she got the win for EXV in this match. It was a fun match. It was a multi-man, so there wasn't like any huge moments going on. It was just everyone trying
Yeah,
to
it was a
get a
preview.
little tiny moment on the pay-per-view.
Right.
And they did. Following that, we had another multi-man, which was a prelude for Wrestle Kingdom, when Miyu Amasaki, Suzu Suzuki, Mei Seira, and Azumi took on Momo Kogo, Koguma, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani. And of course, Mayu Iwatani and Azumi are facing off at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Women's title.
Right.
Huge match. So this was a great way for them to get a tiny bit of against each other. They started off for like 3 minutes, and I was like, no, it was too short when they went to tag out. But even seeing that little tiny glimpse of Mayu versus Azumi is like, oh, give me more right now.
I love the fact that Mayu is so protective of her belt. Like she doesn't care that it's Azumi.
Yeah,
not
no.
one bit. I'm going to beat the snot out of you, and
You're
Mayu
not taking my title.
Mayu's that way.
She is.
She's going to go in there to defend herself.
She is. She wants to overtake Kazuchika Okada's IWGP title defense record. That is her goal with this IWGP Women's title run. So in order to do that, she has to beat Azumi in the Tokyo Dome. And I honestly don't know if she's going to.
Listen, it's kind of at this point. Let me come back to this.
Yeah.
Stick a pin in this.
Yeah.
Because this reminds me of something later in the show.
Okay, we'll stick a pin in it. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised at all if Mayu won the match because it's Mayu Iwatani. But this was a fun match. Azumi got the pin for her team using the Azumi Sushi, so she gets a little win heading into Wrestle Kingdom week.
Yes.
Following that, we had a dream match of mine every single time it happens. The singles match between Sariano and Mika Iwata. And apparently their final match, the final dance between these two in singles action, they are claiming. I'm hoping that's not true because they have such long careers ahead of them still.
Okay, so in Japan especially, they stick to things.
I know they do. Can't a girl dream?
I mean, a girl can dream, but part of the reason we love it is that they stick to things.
I love this matchup so much because they complement each other so well. And they've told this story for the past 2 years that just does something for me in my heart that I cannot get over.
Right.
We've said it before. I wrote an entire article about it before their Wonder of Stardom championship match when Maika had the belt. And it just to get to this point and to see the looks on their faces when they get in the ring, the way they face off at the beginning of a match, just the knowing between them.
Oh, God.
Like, I know you, you know me. We're gonna fight right now, but not because they just want to fight,
right? Because
they love this shit.
They do, and they love each other.
They started this match like Sariano just smacked Maika in the face when they were holding each other's hair, and then Maika answered with a kick, and they just did that for like a whole minute, just slap, kick, slap, kick. There was a headbutt spot in this match, which made me want to scream, where Sariano was headbutting Maika and got her like all the way down, but then Maika comes back and starts headbutting her back until she gets the upper hand. It's just, gave me the willies.
Yeah, it was unreal violence.
Yes.
And the thing I loved about this match, if I may.
If you may. Sorry.
Well, it was exactly. Sorry. Sariano. Mm-hmm. So in this match, she was so different. She was, because normally she is the Utami Hayashishita of being beat on and selling.
Yeah.
In this series. But she really just laid it in. Now, there was the one exception to that in the one match where she kind of dominated.
Yeah.
But I loved how the back and forth this was.
It was. It started out very Maika Iwata heavy, and then Sariano took over. They both really gave it to each other in
If you
this
look
match.
at all their matches, they've kind of been like one person was dominant.
Yeah.
Very noticeably.
Yeah, for most of the match.
And this one, it seemed like it was 50-50.
Yeah.
Like they had both grown to the point.
And there was none of that arrogance that we've seen in the past where one of them is like totally sure that they're going to beat the other one. It was very respectful. But at the same time, like when Sariano got her foot on the rope for a rope break, Maika Iwata's face just staring at her foot on the rope like, I cannot believe you just did that.
The fact that the count stops and she can feel that the shoulder didn't come up and her face doesn't move. Her eyes, you can almost hear her eyes move. Like if you were watching an anime and these eyes slowly move.
Yes.
And as they move, you could hear like the slide. Like the
right.
And
she just looks at the ref.
Yeah, just like, so upset, so much disdain.
Her expressions are just so beautiful.
Yeah.
You could tell what she's thinking the whole match.
Maika Iwata has some of the greatest facials in professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. Now, Soriano has some too, but they're just the same.
Yeah, she just has the one mode.
The incredible smolder.
Yes.
But Maika Iwata, man, she is... It's her disdain that I like.
Yeah. And I was surprised at her in this match because she hit her finisher. She hit that lion driver. And then she didn't go for the pin immediately.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go for the pin when that move has won you many a match in the past?
Yeah, you were so pissed.
I was like, no, what are you doing? Why are you getting up? What's happening? But because of that, Sariano was able to beat her using the pottering, the second of two potterings that she put on her because Maika kicked out of the first, but she sank it in deep to get the win.
They're even.
They are. They're even. And this being their final singles match, as they claim, it just leaves them on an even playing field, which I guess makes sense for them.
It does, but listen, they got to be a tag team.
The way they looked at each other when this match ended and Maika just kind of rolled out of the ring and left, it felt very sad to me.
I think it's just a new chapter.
Yeah.
And I listen, man, you don't have stuff that's got that much interest without something coming of it.
I agree. And
they'll be a tag team.
I think they're definitely going to meet in the ring again on the same side, on opposite sides, tag team wise.
What a tag team it would be, though.
They would make an excellent tag team because they know each other so well. Yeah. Can you imagine them in matching gear?
Yeah.
I think I would lose my mind.
I think you already have. It was a great match.
It was a great match and a great way to end this feud, which we were supposed to get a similar vibe in the next match. And we did not really get an end to what we thought we were going to get an end to.
Very, very strange, this next match.
The MMA rules match between Sheri and Konami. What was supposed to be a match between Sheri and Konami to blow off their very long feud since Konami turned on Sheri in Korakuen Hall to lose the Goddess of Stardom titles to Hate, turned into like a 20-second, if that, match where Sheri just kicked the ever-loving heck out of Konami a couple times. She went down to the mat and did not get up. The ref gets close to the 10 count, and then Hate swarms the ring because they don't want it to end like that, I guess. And they just start attacking Sheri, and she wins by disqualification.
Yeah, but she also, I mean, she won by KO.
Well, yeah, everyone could see that Konami was out.
Yeah. So, have we heard any updates at all? Anything?
I haven't heard any update about Konami. It's hard. Sometimes they don't let it. They just sweep it under the rug.
It was such a believable knockout.
She looked like she was out of it. Like,
she
just
seemed
gone.
like she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bro. I don't know. But we did have something come of it.
We did. It was strange. As Sheri was being attacked, someone came out to help her, and that was Maya Fukuda, who is a wrestler who has competed in GLEAT, and she left GLEAT back in July after her Bloodsport outing, and she has a very extensive mixed martial arts background, which is familiar to someone in this match. But she came in the ring and basically talked about how much she looks up to Sheri and how much she has looked up to her since she got into professional wrestling, and how much she loves the vibe and the atmosphere of Stardom, and she wants to be in Stardom and she wants to be in God's Eye with Sheri.
You know what I love? I love this so much. I just have to say it. If Stardom was a cartoon, every girl has a place.
They do.
You know, if you're a girl,
You got your faction.
if you're a girl and you have a certain, I mean, every girl is an individual, and
Yeah.
those individuals, though, sometimes are like other individuals,
Right.
and they gravitate that way.
It's a very cliquey thing.
I love the fact that these groups are filled with people that are the same.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm someone
You
who
can
likes.
see why they're friends.
I'm someone who likes that. And some people are like, no, it needs to be more eclectic. We need to, have each group be more diverse. I'm not like that.
No.
I think that we're all under one banner.
No,
right?
every faction has a purpose and a mission statement and a style.
We're all under Stardom.
Yes.
So, in this particular Fed. So that's your diversity right there.
Absolutely.
You've got all these different thoughts, a diversity of thought out there. I love the fact that you got the ass kickers that are just so interested in kicking ass. That's all they talk about, right? They sit around and they're like, hey, you kicked any ass today? Oh, I kicked all the ass I could.
Right.
I'm kicking your ass right now and you don't even know it. And then you got basically the mean girls that are super talented that can also kick your ass. And that's the thing. It's not like the ass kickers are not beautiful. They are.
Yes.
They just don't have to put beauty first.
Right. They're more about kicking ass.
You've got the beautiful ones that have their burn book,
very ethereal,
and still can kill people, like are probably the most murderous group of the bunch.
Yes.
You've got your mean girls, so like not mean girls in the funny popular way,
right?
But actually evil demons.
The actual like villains.
Yeah, you've got and they're so healed.
The criminals.
They're so healed that they're like, hey, like twisting their mustache and stuff. You've got your group of lovable like straight A students. And
the lovable klutzes.
I didn't want to say it, but you got
goofballs.
Yeah, you got the girl that thinks she's a bear. You got the girl that should probably be somewhere else, but she stays around here because she's in love with the bear.
You've got the one that falls over her feet every other match,
but is the best wrestler in the planet.
Can turn it on like nobody's business.
Nobody's business at all. The absolute best wrestler on the planet Earth.
Oh my goodness. You got the like big, tall, happy one that's just smiling all the time.
It's just goofy as hell.
And then the little strong one.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
Yeah. And that's just beautiful because who hasn't wanted to be part of that group?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they seem like fun. Like they're going to love you no matter what.
And that's the thing I love about Stardom though, is when we have somebody show up, we know right off where they should go.
Yeah, we do. It's like a rookie debuts or someone from the outside comes in and we immediately know they're going in that faction. They belong in that faction.
Like short hair sports bra. We know where you're going. Oh, look.
Look at that smile on your face. We know where you're going.
Yeah. Wait a second. You're wearing all black lipstick. Is that a switchblade? Okay.
Oh, you got pink frilly gear?
Oh. Yeah, honey. We know where you're going.
It's so much fun.
I love Stardom.
I do too. And this new girl, she made it clear she's ready to go into God's Eye immediately. And she's actually going by a new name, which is Kyoka Kotatsu. So she won't be Maya Fukuda anymore.
Give that to me again.
Kyoka Kotatsu. We'll have to get used to it.
Okay.
We would have had to get used to Maya Fukuda too, but seems a little easier than.
Oh, we're
Kyoka.
not going to play like we knew who she was already. We're not going to do that.
She's only got 3 years of experience in 25 matches.
Of course, I watched her all the way to Bloodsport. We were very happy about that. But
I hate when people do that.
I like the name Kyoka because it's it's almost Kyoko, but you got the A on the end, which makes it girly.
Yeah, it's almost Kogetsu. I like that.
Yes, Kyoka Kotatsu. So
yes.
I'm looking forward to whatever she's going to do
Me too.
in the new year in Stardom with God's Eye. I think it's going to just strengthen their group. They need something to get them back on top.
Hey, man, I'm glad we're getting some of this youth injection because, like I said, somebody's got some good young girls down the street.
Somebody over there on the next corner is building up their ranks.
Yeah, we're gonna
Gotta be careful.
We're gonna have a hell of a two rosters in about 5 years.
I mean, we've recently seen 2 new girls on the outside of the ring in Stardom,
Yes.
which is always exciting. We always notice too when it happens. We're like, oh,
Yeah,
trainees, there they are. They're here.
we always give them a name, and it doesn't matter.
You've decided on their nickname.
Yes.
This time it would be Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yes. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, and it's just because it's a two
We
people.
gotta call them something.
Yeah, it's Mickey and Minnie or Butch and Sundance.
We don't want to just call them young girl.
Yeah, young girl and younger girl. I mean, if we knew their ages, maybe that would work. But
Yeah. So it's exciting. We do have young talent coming in all the time. The dojo is on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we get into our final 3 matches of the night, starting with this absolutely bonkers no disqualification match between Maika and Natsukatora. So Natsukatora comes out wearing the cargo pants, the hate t-shirt. She's ready for hardcore action.
We knew where she was going.
Maika comes out in her regular gear top, but white, sort of like almost like a jumpsuit, but she's got the top part tied around her waist.
Yeah.
So she just got white pants, which is always cool in a no DQ match to wear white.
It looks like she could have got drunk in it earlier.
She probably did because she came out carrying a board completely full with half sawn off beer cans.
Yeah.
That is the brand of beer that she drank throughout Tag League. So
It is.
we're going to just assume that she drank all of those in order to make this board.
Well, Xena said on commentary that
Yes.
she drank them.
She did, and I believe Xena.
I do too.
So she comes out with that. Tora's out here, and I can't even express the level of not ready I was for this, of what happened in this match. Because normally,
go
a
ahead.
Stardom hardcore match, you're like, they're going to use some tables. There'll be some chairs going over people's heads with the middle popping out. There probably won't be any blood, maybe a little. After
Suzuki got violated,
Yeah.
I know we weren't supposed to talk about that ever again.
We made a pact.
I'm sorry. But after that incident that shall not be talked about ever again after that time, I thought that this hardcore match would probably not be that hardcore.
Be a little tame.
A little bit.
But it plays in beautifully with the story that's been built around Natsukatora and Dump Matsumoto essentially being like, this is my spiritual heir.
Yeah.
This is the person who's taking over my mantle.
And listen, it was almost like Walker got told, got paid $5 every time he would say Dump Matsumoto.
He did. But I don't blame him because Natsukatora was channeling Dump Matsumoto from the 80s in this match.
And we just watched, by the way. We always love coming across nice YouTubes.
Yes.
That have
beautiful YouTubes.
That have incredible, like videotapes from the past or TV shows from the past, with any of the feds, right?
Yes.
We've recently come across a wonderful collection that not everybody knows about because some of them have like 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad but happy at the same time.
Yes, a little secret.
Yeah.
It's our little secret.
Yeah, I'm going to watch them all before they get taken down. But it's some of them are just incredible. They're
My
just
goodness.
special little commercial tapes that might have been sold at a table sometime in 85.
Yeah.
And, so we were watching some of these last night in between our shows.
Yeah, we were digging into a little JWP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had like 2 hours in
Yeah,
between
like
Worlds
house
End.
shows. I mean, it's like house shows, but they're just glorious. And watching some of the All Japan girls in the late 90s
Oh my goodness.
actually beat the piss out of some girls from other feds.
Oh my gosh, there was this Takako Inoue match
Yeah.
where it was literally 3 minutes long.
She didn't sell a single damn.
This girl's drop kicking her
Yeah.
all over the place. She just standing there looking at her like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not here for it.
yeah, she beat the piss. Listen,
I don't know what somebody said to Takako earlier in the day.
no, because you're not building anything doing that.
No.
It's
She just beat the crap out of this IWA
no,
girl.
you're just throwing it down and shoot pinning, and we all know they do the shoot pins.
Yeah.
And especially in the old ones.
I wouldn't kick out if I was that girl either.
Oh, it's-
She was mad.
Yeah, it was glorious. But the reason I bring that up is we watched some old dump again, and
Yeah.
it's funny because you think you've seen everything, but then sometimes you find a better version of the stuff you've seen.
You see
And-
new things.
And yeah, you see new things. You see some of the wonderfulness that is Dump, and some of the transition of how she went in there and made this her own, and
Yeah.
really changed the game so much, along with Chigusa and Linus Asuka.
Right. They had to have each other.
Let's not get it twisted. And along with Devil, and along with all of them, right?
Jaguar,
I mean, yeah,
the whole lot of them
they
in
all
the 80s.
they all had a part. We were going through the best classes ever, and he's like, is 85 the best, or is 82 the best?
You
or...
can tell the girls who watched Dump Matsumoto and the Crush Gals in the class of 80, and then they
Yeah.
were like, we're joining because those classes were chock full of people.
Yeah, because it's the right time period.
Yeah.
Like you go from 80 to what, 87?
I think 85 to 89 was like really crazy.
Everybody from the 90s.
Really crazy
Yeah.
people, yeah.
And so it's just a lot of fun, and sometimes it's great to have things that feel like throwbacks.
Yeah.
And
This definitely felt that
we
way.
have Dump coming up again.
We do. She's coming back. She's not going anywhere.
She's going to be on the third show.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
I hope she's proud of Natsukatora for
Yeah.
her performance in this match. Girl used a fork.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, I was not ready.
Yes, I love using
She
a fork.
beat the ever-loving crap out of Maika in this match. Maika is a bloody mess. Just pouring blood from the top of her head the entire match. It started early because of a barbed wire wrapped broken pipe that Natsukatora had and just ran across her forehead.
Yeah, she did. She got some good color.
Hate was in there a little bit, but they didn't get involved as much as I expected them to in a no disqualification match.
Yeah, I agreed.
Tora was totally in control, though. There was a moment where Maika hung like 4 chairs over Tora's head at the same time, and there was some nasty bumps on that can board and through just piles of stuff. Natsukatora misted Maika in the face to go along with the blood that was already in her face. And in the end, it was a swanton bomb while Natsukatora had barbed wire wrapped around her body that laid Maika down for the pin to give Natsukatora the win here. And I'm happy that Natsukatora won this match. I think it's everything that it needed to be. I think Natsukatora needed this win, and I think she's just made a brand new start for herself
I do too.
in this style that she's creating. I know this won't happen once in a blue moon in Stardom, this kind of match, but I think it shows that Tora's willing to go to that place.
Yeah, I would like to see her wear this gear all the time. Mm-hmm. And
I
just,
loved the gear.
and just at least come out with chains and things like that. Like
Bring
I like
the fork.
I like it.
She used a
lot.
trash can. It was very 80s.
There's a place for it. If there's a place for a clown, there's a place for a violent
Agreed.
death messenger.
Yeah, she could pull a
I
very
was
dumb.
trying to say messenger of death, but
She could pull a very dumb Matsumoto thing where she
death messenger sounds like you get paid by the hour.
derails matches
Yeah.
because of her lust for blood. You never know. And bravo to Maika, honestly, for her performance in this
Mm-hmm.
match. It was excellent as well.
Totally, man. Micah's a completely different cat than she was a year ago.
Yeah, she is. This was so much fun.
Can you imagine Micah taking that or doing that match a year ago? I can't.
No. Long hair Maika? No. Can't imagine it at all.
Not at all. She's a whole different being.
I love this Maika.
Yeah, she is ascended.
She's one of my favorite wrestlers.
We have peak Maika right now.
Yes, Maika has ascended to the top of my wrestler list this year.
Yeah, she's amazing.
That takes us into the semi-main and main event of the evening.
All right, well, I'll see myself out.
You're not going to be able to handle it.
I don't know if I can relive it.
We got to start with the Wonder of Stardom Championship.
This is the part I can't relive. It's so great.
The semi-main event, Natsupoi, the champion, defending against Starlight Kid, who came out in the most beautiful gear that I've ever seen in my entire life. That pure white Starlight Kid gear will live in infamy in my mind for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Can't get over it.
It's gonna live in my mind too.
The white versus white for the white belt. It just worked. It was perfect.
Everything about this match worked.
It did.
Everything about this match was perfect. From the entrances to the looks, to the little looks, to the nuances, to the big aunts, to my uncle aunts. It was, listen, this was so perfect. Starlight, if you've ever liked, loved, thought about pro wrestling, her journey is the hero's journey of professional wrestling. She started out, and we've all watched her grow up.
Yeah.
It's like you watched her grow up from literally a little girl. And she comes through this, and she always was a standout. She was always a standout, but she is also always eating pins, or she was always getting there and then not quite getting there.
Right. It's just out of reach.
And then you had the lovely relationship with Mayu Iwatani, and she was definitely like Mayu's little sister. And, you know, she did the thing that all little sisters do, and she turned on her and hurt her feelings.
Yes.
And we kept wanting that to come back around, but things would play in, like, I don't know, pandemics. And, you know, so
Injury.
we were wanting Starlight to get that win.
Yes.
You know, because she was trying to beat every year. She's trying to beat Mayu Iwatani.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening. And we're still waiting on that. But with that said, you know, she joins Oedo Tai, and she takes that dark, you know, run. But even through that, there was always hope. And there was always these moments little moments where you could see her care.
Yeah.
And it would break through. It wasn't like that whack-a-mole crazy batshit girl Saya Kamatani.
No.
It was little moments of heart.
Yes, moments with Azumi, with Natsupoi, just over the years.
And the Azumi, the eternal foes, right?
Oh, jeez, so that's a whole thing on its own.
We've had the eternal foes. And then, I mean, that's what we wanted to name Neo Genesis.
Yeah, then Starlight's performance in the 23 5-star Grand Prix, where she's just losing out of frustration. She cannot get her feet under her.
She's not the only one that was frustrated, though.
No, I know.
We were frustrated for her.
Yes.
We were frustrated for a lot of girls, but we were frustrated for Starlight. And it's like, why? Why is she losing like this? And even some of the physical things, you could see it take a toll. You could see depression. Depression is a very visible thing if you're looking.
Yeah, and then Oedo Tai latched onto that when they kicked her out. They were like, "You're not performing.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for us anymore, so you can't be in our group."
So then, you know, she met me, and all her life changed.
Yeah, exactly. That was the moment.
And some may say that Philadelphia meeting was just by chance. I like to think that it inspired a whole new Starlight Kid.
It was
She's
the
like,
turning point.
That tall man of baldness is who is scared to stand very close to me because he tries to Keanu Reeves his world. And it's the picture is so awkward because I'm just like, everybody else is like hugging. Like, oh, come here. And I'm like so respectful.
Yeah, you're just like, I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
Keep my hands to myself.
I'm just in your presence.
I'll do the pose.
I'm in your aura. It's
I'm
enough.
happy.
So she goes from that to one of the most wonderful new factions of the new era
She
of Stardom.
created the faction.
She did after playing the field. You know,
after teaming with Natsupoi for a long time.
Natsupoi, who has also had all these kind of feels going for all these years. She's always the one who brings the emotions out in everyone. She's the one who brings Tam to greatness.
Yeah.
She's the one who brings Soriano back from the eating garbage in the dumpster.
She throws Hazuki into depression.
Yeah, it throws Hazuki into depression. And, you know, it's all these wonderful things that she's always done. She is just top tier and also one of our favorites.
One of the best.
But, you know, Starlight Kid just takes Neo Genesis and owns it, man. She's pulling out big match, wins, and looks fantastic, right?
Always.
So we go into this match, and you have, and I know I said this earlier with someone else, but we have fully ascended Starlight Kid. We have top shelf Poi.
Two of the best at their very best.
It's so rare to see peak versus peak.
Yeah.
We recently watched Jushin Thunder Liger versus Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
And one was on their way, starting their way down, and one was just starting their journey up.
Yes.
And a lot of times you'll have that.
Yeah.
But it's so rare. It's so rare to have two under 30s that each have so much experience.
Yes.
And Starlight, though, what has been her curse this whole time, though? She has not won the big one.
Nope. She never can do it in the big match.
And it's
she's tried.
And you get to a point where, I mean, the fans lose faith.
Yeah. You start to see the match and you're like, oh, there's no way Starlight's going to win that match. She never does. But throughout this year, there has become a new hope building around Starlight Kid. She has created this new place for herself in the Stardom roster. And she came out to this match with everyone's hopes and dreams on her shoulders, which I can't imagine the pressure.
Even the way she works a match, it's went very much from just high speed.
Yeah.
She's
almost completely gotten away from the high speed style.
But she has it still. And
she has touches of it here and there.
Her working, if she gets hold of your leg, it's over. And
it was so beautifully done that they incorporated the threats that they've been making against each other's knee and arm up to this match from the beginning, backing Poi into the ropes and kicking her knee as she backs away, and then Poi yanking Starlight's arm up behind her back within the first few minutes of the match, just immediately going after those body parts that they've been trained on for months.
Yeah, and don't think we didn't have the hot spots, because we had this wonderful, wonderful storytelling.
Yes.
But we also had the dangerous.
Oh man, the beginning of the match was all working on each other's limbs. Then it completely shifted gears when Poi threw Starlight Kid from the top turnbuckle with her release German suplex, and Starlight landed on her shoulder in the nastiest looking crumple bump of all time.
It's like when somebody tries to kayfabe the bump.
Yeah.
And they go to the side. And it's a natural thing, because when you're going backwards at 100 miles an hour from a great height, you don't want to take it.
No. Your body just naturally is like, no.
Yeah, you naturally turtle.
Yeah.
And go to your side.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to break. I guess she did it on purpose. I mean, but she's that good, and I don't doubt that she's that good.
Yeah, and the match from that moment on was just a struggle till the end, because they were hitting each other with all of their big moves. They were doing everything possible.
She's instantly in jeopardy, though.
Yes.
As soon as Starlight takes that on her neck, on her shoulder, she's outside the ring crying, and it's Poi does it. She just jumps off from the top rope to the outside.
She don't care.
Yeah, no, and it was always jeopardy for both of them, because Starlight got Poi, like you said, and so it was just one of those games. But man, you talk about ending sequences.
Oh my goodness, these two, they're just top level, 100%. The false finishes in the end of this match, I didn't know which way it was going to go until the very last second, to be honest. And the fact that they kicked out of each other's most devastating moves,
all their signatures,
Pharaoh Gift, Star Suplex, they were just kicking out left and right. There was a 1 count on on a move, and I was out of my. The SLK claps were banging off the walls the whole time.
For the fact that there wasn't a submission too.
Yeah.
That's when we built to submission.
Yeah, there was no Black Tiger leg killer in the ending. There was no armbar. It was just throwing each other around, doing 2 count spots.
And there was a sold out building, historic building, that was 100% behind Starlight Kid.
The SLK, there were so many SLK claps in this match that it was crazy. And Starlight Kid, with all of that pressure and emotion and expectations on her shoulders, hit the most beautiful Star Suplex that she's ever hit in her life and pinned Natsupoi to become the new Wonder of Stardom champion.
Let's give it. We got to give the wrestlers her clap. We salute you, Starlight
and
Kid,
it was so,
and Natsupoi.
It was so nice. The belt went beautifully with her new gear, and Natsupoi was obviously devastated to lose her belt. She took it from Daichi so that she could put it on Starlight.
She was, but she also had a few little smiles, and then she'd cry again.
She got out of the ring and sat on the apron, and she was like sad and holding her knee, but then there was like this little glimmer of a smile, like she's proud of Starlight Kid.
Yeah, she brought her back from this. You know?
It was so beautiful.
It's like she created her own monster. Think about that.
She helped Starlight Kid when she got kicked out of Oedo Tai. She brought her back from the trenches, and that's the person who eventually rose up to beat her for the Wonder of Stardom title.
Yeah, you can only be mad at yourself for being wonderful.
And it was such a beautiful moment. I think a lot of people have been waiting a long time to see this for Starlight Kid, and it's just going to be amazing to see.
It'll be interesting because it's kind of like I think of the Rock and Roll Express. Mm-hmm. When the Rock and Roll Express, and everybody loved the Rock and Roll Express, when they would win the belts, it's like people kind of turned off on them.
They were like, oh, you got what we wanted you to get.
When they're on the chase, it's like they're breaking Ricky's nose.
Right.
They're rubbing him in the basement. They're throwing him off cliffs. They're doing all this stuff. And every building was shaking from the foundations with rock and roll chants.
Right.
But when they would win the belts, it was almost like, yeah.
It's like, what do we chant for now?
Yeah,
you got the belts.
What are we going to do? And I was always more of a heel kid, myself.
Right.
But I did see it, and I knew it existed. And I always noticed that when they would get the belts, that you couldn't get them off of them quick enough.
Right. It's like, please, God, take those off.
Because it's all about the chase. Wrestling is about the chase.
Yeah. But I think Starlight's going to have a crazy 2025, and I just can't help but think about Hazuki hanging out in the wings, like lurking in the shadows.
Oh my God.
After that whole mask incident that happened.
Oh my God.
A while ago.
Yeah.
And
Somebody else who feels like they deserve it.
You know, Hazuki still wants that Wonder of Stardom title.
She deserves it, and doesn't at the same time. I'm
afraid of what she's going to do to get back to that title picture and to get her hands on Starlight Kid, and what she'll do when she does get her hands on Starlight Kid. But I'm
she's
excited.
Bulletproof because nobody boos her, and she's done terrible things.
I know. So I think everyone just conveniently forgot because she was sad for like 2 days.
They're like, it's all right. We've all done that.
We've all been there. We understand.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see who Starlight's first challengers are and what kind of matches she'll be having.
I hope she gets a few job matches to start with.
Yeah, a few defenses under her belt before
that we know
the real danger sets in. There's going to be danger. I know that for sure.
I don't know. I want it to be danger off the bat because, that's who she is.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting. People from her own faction that want a shot.
It will be. And it's a little interesting that there was no challenge made after the fact. There were no challenges made, period, for the entire night.
Well, you have to think. You have to think. If somebody is unsuccessful against Mayu Iwatani, somebody is the eternal foe.
Yeah.
And somebody has a winning record against SLK. I'm pretty sure.
I would bet on it, yes.
And I don't know, man.
You think Azumi would?
I really don't know their record. What is their one-on-one record? I really don't know.
I don't know. It's something I'd have to look up.
Yeah. But one would surmise.
It seems like Azumi would probably be the safe bet to be the one in the lead.
And so there you go, people. You can comment because there is probably half our listeners that know.
Yeah, just right off the bat.
Right off the bat. They've got a tattoo on it. It's just like, oh, you don't know? But yeah, I'm not thinking about it right now. So
yeah, and that brings us to the main event of Dream Queendom for the World of Stardom Championship. Champion Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamatani, the Phoenix Queen. And this match, oh my God.
Yeah.
They did some crazy stuff in this match. Just wrestling wise, it was incredible because it's Tam Nakano and Saya Kamatani. But the fact that they got out of the ring and walked all the way around the arena to the overhang where people can walk under the bleachers,
Mm-hmm.
Saya Kamatani wrapped a chain around Tam Nakano's neck and hung her from that overhang, lifted her up off the ground so that her feet were not touching.
God. Yeah.
With a chain.
It was insane.
It was.
It was a hell of a
the
visual.
Craziest visual I think I've ever seen out of a Stardom show.
Yeah.
And that's including Tam and Natsupoi on top of a cage. Because this was just totally unexpected. But then Saya Kamitani jumped off of that overhang onto a group of people and did not hurt herself, thank God, because she has a history of that. And they've made a big deal in this match to harken back to the times Tam Nakano has beat Saya Kamitani and how those times ended because Saya Kamitani got hurt. There was a rib injury that ended a match, and then the infamous 5-star Grand Prix opening night match where she dislocated her elbow against Tam Nakano. And Saya Kamitani did an excellent job of calling back to that in this match, because late in the match when she was in danger, she feigned injury. She was just laid out on the ground like she was hurt, and she was pointing at her face and her eyes and stuff, and they called the doctor over to take a look at her, and you could see the look all over Tam Nakano's face.
Yeah.
Just the guilt and like dread that, oh no, this is happening again.
It was sick.
It was.
Sick and twisted. And the whole time you were like
I was
screaming.
like, oh, I don't believe her, don't believe her.
She's pulling one out on you. Why are
pulling
you
the wool over
believing
your
this?
eyes.
You can't trust her.
Nobody can trust Saya Kamitani because turns out it was a ruse.
It was a ruse.
Big surprise. And Tam could not recover from that feeling of that she hurt someone. She couldn't get over it.
Dude, they make a career of embarrassing Tam.
Oh, God, it was so sad.
Yeah, it makes me so mad.
And Saya Kamitani, because of that feigned injury, was able to hit Tam with enough Star Crushers to get the win and become the new World of Stardom champion.
She's the red belt champ.
Saya Kamitani, the Phoenix Queen, has the red belt as we speak.
Saya Kamitani, new red belt champ. Starlight Kid, new white belt champ. Wingori.
New tag champs.
Yeah.
Those were all the belts on the line tonight.
Yeah. I mean,
they all changed.
It's amazing because you talk about a new era.
Yeah.
And you really go to some very deserving people.
Yeah.
I mean, very deserving.
People who have been working their way
Yeah.
to the positions that they are now in and totally deserve it.
Yeah, totally
From what
deserve
they've done this year.
And exciting, too. Like, the prospects of all three of those title changes just open up a whole world of matchups.
They do. And there's a really cool like callback to when Saya Kamitani beat Tam Nakano for the Wonder of Stardom title, where she made Tam put the belt on her. And if you look at the side-by-side pictures, it's like exactly the same with Tam on the ground, like crying, putting the belt on her while she's just sitting there distraught that she lost this belt. And back then it was nice Saya. It was just happy-go-lucky Golden Phoenix.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot worse, more embarrassing, more shameful.
Was it ever nice, Saya?
That's the question. Was Saya ever actually a good person?
I think people have been so focused on she's still a good person. They haven't even thought about the fact was she ever a good person?
She's definitely not at this point. She's completely off her rocker.
She's batshit crazy.
She's yelling and screaming. Like the finishing sequence of this match after that injury, she was like a banshee running around, just doing crazy stuff, throwing Tam around. It was wild.
Yeah, it's weird.
I loved it though.
Yeah.
I loved the end of this match. I loved the win. I love Saya Kamitani as the red belt champion because it just brings another layer of interest to
It's
Stardom as a whole.
Total chaos.
It is. And we're heading into the first full year of President Okada and of New Japan, Bushiroad Stardom.
Yeah.
So I think that they're really showing this is our Stardom now, and this is where the direction we're going in. I hope you're ready for it and you're along for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, they revamped the website. They've got a lot of stuff going on right now for them, and they're hot.
Yeah.
They're hot.
They're obviously selling out buildings. They're doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And I'm ready.
And top to bottom, dude.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, there's matchups.
Yeah. Dream Queendom was like the ending of a chapter and the beginning of an entirely new Stardom that we've never, ever seen before. Brand new champions all around.
I like for a pay-per-view to end and leave me satisfied, but yet longing.
Yeah.
And this did that.
It did.
Checked all the boxes.
Checked all the boxes. And it's leading us into some of the biggest shows to start the year off with New Year Dream and Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty and New Year's Dash. And we're gonna preview all of the Joshi that's happening in this coming week.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of it to talk about, and we don't want to shove it all here at the end of this review.
No. You'll have your own episode for everything that's coming up.
Yes, but Dream Queendom, like 10 out of 10, was incredible from top to bottom.
And you want to talk about moments?
Oh, I think we need to talk about moments because there were so many of them, though, that it's almost hard to narrow it down.
Well, I mean, what's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was definitely Starlight Kid winning the Wonder of Stardom championship. I think that's number one.
So agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I mean, it's just when you take everything else away. The only thing I'll be upset about with Saya Kamatani winning is if the Weekly Pro Wrestling has her win on the front
instead of Starlight
Kid.
They might do a dual cover,
which could be its own storyline later on.
Yes,
but. Because she deserves this.
She does. She's worked so hard for it, and it just
Saya
feels right.
deserves it too, but it just feels like
there's a different feeling about each win.
Yeah, there is.
It's like Saya Kamatani as Red Belt champion just feels like it was meant to happen. Starlight Kid as Wonder Stardom championship feels like she made it happen.
Yeah.
Is how it feels to me.
And that's how those belts are supposed to feel.
That's fair. That's very fair. I think another big moment for me was Wingori winning the tag team championships. That felt very emotional. We've just been with them.
2024.
Yeah. Wingori's entire 2024 was just incredible.
You go to some of those matches that really put them on the map.
Yeah.
Before that, they were just, hey, they they make a team, they're Wingori.
Yeah.
And it went from that to being in the mouths of everybody that was talking about the greatest tag teams.
Yeah, I agree. And for my third moment, I'm honestly torn between freaking Dump Natsukatora and Sayaka Kurara versus Rana Yagami. Like, both of those were very amazing to me. And for very different reasons, obviously. my
moment has to be that Kurara. It
just felt so monumental for where they are.
That coming out party.
Yeah. It just feels like, we're finally here.
Like if you only watched the pay-per-views. Well, what?
Yeah. if you only saw them on pay-per-views and you saw the enormous change in them.
I always think about somebody's first show. Mm-hmm. If something about this show inspired them to watch it.
Yeah.
Everybody has a first show.
Yeah.
And, you go into that first show and you don't know 85% of the people or 95% of the people, but you're still enjoying stuff. So I always try to look at it like that.
Right.
And with those eyes.
Yeah.
And I think about this because I thought about it last night during that Carrara match. And I was thinking, if somebody watched this for the first time, they may wonder why these girls are on the pre-show.
Yeah. I just imagine Sayaka Kurara's face when she's looking at Rana before the match. And I'm just like, This is everything. They're superstars.
Yeah, yeah. So, without a doubt, my third moment is Chi Chi. So, with all that
seeing Chi Chi.
With all that said, it was seeing Chi Chi. So you can have all your lovey-dovey stuff.
Honorable mention to Natsukatora being an absolute crazy person, and Maika taking the craziness.
Yeah, I just want to see it go somewhere.
Me too. But that's Dream Queendom in the books for 2024. We're days away from hitting 2025, and then it'll be off to the races with Wrestle Kingdom weekend and the whole week, basically.
I can't wait.
So look out for our preview on that because we're excited to talk about all of the matches coming up between all of the promotions that will be running shows in Japan over the week. And let us know what you thought of Dream Queendom 2024. Are you happy about the championship changes? Are you happy about the direction things are going? What was your favorite moment of the entire show? We are dying to know. But for now, make sure you're following us at Wrestling Is Her on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us, the Wrestling Is Her YouTube, subscribe, send us comments. We love reading your comments and replying to them. But for now, I'm Raja. He's John. So long from Wrestling Is Her. Bye.